Hello scent addicts, welcome to Fragrance Therapy. I'm your host Alam, and today we're going to be doing a deep dive and review of two new fragrances from the House of Khadlaj. Shiaka Shadow and Khadlaj Island Dreams. We'll go over the scent profile, the notes, the performance, how close it gets to what it's cloning, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts and rating. So without further ado, let's jump in. So let's start off with Shiaka Shadow. This is a fresh and masculine fragrance that's mature and sophisticated. Definitely gives you a fresh, woody and earthy scent profile. Presentation wise, it comes in this box. It's not only Khadlaj Shadow, it's Khadlaj Shadow Special Edition. I don't know if you can see that. So it comes in a cool looking bottle. It says Shiaka Shadow on it, Khadlaj at the bottom. It is not a magnetic cap. It kind of snaps into place. I do find it odd that it doesn't sit in a particular rotation. You can kind of move it around. You have to line it up yourself. But it is very reminiscent of the other Shiaka fragrances. Like, for example, I have the red one here. I have the blue one as well. But yeah, same style. This one actually looks way better. On this, it looks like very clearly, you can see that this is like a cheap plastic. This one, I think the color kind of disguises the cheapness of it, and it just feels a little bit more solid overall. Also, the atomizer, pressurized. Look at that. Whew. So that freshness comes from like a really zesty grapefruit, but you also get like a clean herbal touch with the lavender. And then it also adds some pink pepper in there. And that pink pepper is really, really popular amongst newer fragrances. And it does give it like a really modern touch. Then you get some warmth with those woods. That zest combined with like cedar woods and cashmere woods really gives it that sophistication that I was talking about. And in the dry down is where you get those masculine notes with that earthiness. You get that patchouli and you get that moss. It really provides like that dark earthiness that is really clean and long lasting. So let's take a look at the notes. On top, you get pink pepper, grapefruit, and lavender. In the mid, you get dry amber, cedarwood, and cashmere wood. And in the base, you get musk, patchouli, and moss. Now, I also get some sweetness in here, like some type of other fruit other than grapefruit. It's not listed in the notes, but it's there, but it's subtle enough that you can't just grab it out of the scent profile, but it's definitely there and it balances it a little bit. So this is a very masculine, mass appealing, easy to wear scent profile. It might lean a little bit mature, but I think every age group can pull it off. And like I always say, and I'm going to keep saying it, there's no age groups for fragrances. You wear what you like, when you like it, and that's fine. Other people can worry about age groups and this and that. You just stick to what you like, and that's good enough. I think versatility is also where this one really shines. This is an all year round fragrance in my opinion. It also can be worn in a variety of settings. I can see this being worn at a formal event, but I also can see it being worn at a night out. You can wear it at the office. You can wear it when you're just hanging out. It's a truly versatile fragrance. So this is a clone of Carolina Herrera's Bad Boy Cobalt Elixir, and no wonder I like this so much. Because Cobalt Elixir is my favorite of the entire line, and this one gets like 85 to 90% close. I think this one, that base is a touch more earthy, but other than that, I think it gets really, really close. Some people say that this is actually a combination of Cobalt EDP and Cobalt Elixir. I get why they're saying that because that Cobalt EDP does have a little bit more of that earthiness, but I personally think this is way more Cobalt Elixir than it is EDP. And this one is a EDP as well, but performance was surprisingly good. That projection on the first 2 hours was pretty strong, and it lasted easily 8 hours on my skin. On the clothes, much longer. And this one is also great value because you're getting it for 40 bucks. Now I get it that Cobalt Elixir is not a super expensive fragrance. I think at retail it goes for around $140, but at discounters you can get it for around 100 bucks, but still you're saving a pretty significant chunk of money here. To me, that $60 difference is worth it because this performs so darn well. So as you guys can tell, I really like this one. My overall rating for this one is a 9 out of 10 for its versatility, how close it gets to the original, and just how wearable it is. So yeah, that's Shiaka Shadow. Next up, we have Khadlaj Island Dreams. Now this is a much anticipated clone of Louis Vuitton's Symphony. So this one comes in a cardboard box, but I really do like the kind of color scheme and design. And the bottle is very reminiscent of the other Khadlaj Island bottles, especially this one. Whereas this one, which is the original Khadlaj Island, is like a green gradient. This one is kind of like a bluish gray gradient. On top of the cap, it says Khadlaj. Pretty hefty cap here. And pressurized atomizer. Now, quality control Khadlaj. My label is ever so slightly off center and slanted. I know most people probably wouldn't even notice, but that type of stuff drives me crazy. But overall, I love the presentation. So this one also has a very citrusy opening. It's much more citrus dominant opening than the Shiaka Shadow. That citrus really pops in here. It's like grapefruit and bergamot. It really dominates the opening. And it also has a bit of a fizziness to it. As it dries, it also gives off like a luxury soapy nature. Think of Louis Vuitton's Imagination if you smelt that, or a clone, just a very citrus dominant luxury soap. Then there's also like a ginger note. Ginger note and citrus notes always work really well together. They help bring out a freshness that you don't get with just plain citrus. Later on, you get ambers and musks because that helps kind of balance this fragrance and prevents it from being just like a citrus bomb. So let's take a look at the notes. You get on top, you get bergamot and ginger. In the mid, you get grapefruit accords, and in the base, you get ambroxans and musks. So I'm lucky enough to be within 45 minutes of 2 Louis Vuitton stores. So in prep for this video, I did go and check out Symphony because I do not own Symphony. And it is shocking how close this is in the opening. I'm talking about maybe Symphony might be a tad bit sweeter, this one more citrus forward, but after a few minutes, it almost becomes identical. Because as you can tell, Symphony is another freshie from Louis Vuitton. Think along the lines of Pacific Chill and Afternoon Swim, but at a much different price tag. You see, Louis Vuitton fragrances are expensive. Imagination, Pacific Chill, Afternoon Swim, they all go for around $350 to $400. But Symphony is $700. So keep that in mind when we talk about performance. Because this one is a tale of two fragrances. In the opening, you get really strong projection. For that first hour, hour and a half, even 2 hours, you're like, holy cow, this is gonna perform. And the fact is that it's an extrait de parfum, so you think, oh my God, this is gonna last forever. However, after that 4.5 to 5 hour mark, this thing dropped off a cliff. Longevity, after that 5 hour mark, you can barely, if you get up close and smell it on your skin, you can barely still smell it. Now, I have a sneaking suspicion that this is gonna improve sitting on the shelf and maturing. But I get it, not everybody has the luxury of having hundreds of fragrances that they can buy one and just let it sit on the shelf. So I understand it can be frustrating. But that is the nature of this clone industry, is they are trying to get things to market so quickly because they are trying to beat the rest of their competitors. So sometimes in this competitive market, they don't have the luxury of letting it sit in their factories. They need to push it out. You commonly get the need for having it mature on your shelf. Overall, initial projection is about on par with Symphony, but when it comes to longevity, it's not even close. There's also another dupe of LV Symphony on the market. It's Joe Milano's Emerald, I believe. I don't have that. I have a couple of Joe Milano Game of Spades fragrances, but I do not have that one. I'm working on getting my hands on it. Once I do, I might do a comparison. We'll see. So I think when it comes to performance with some of these fragrances, especially really fresh fragrances, we have to temper our expectations a little bit. It might improve with some maturation, but the fact is This is a $40 fragrance going up against a $700 fragrance. So if you're looking for that scent profile, with the understanding that you're not going to get the performance that you are at least out of the box with the original, this is a no-brainer for 40 bucks. So this is a difficult one to rate because the scent profile is very fresh, very clean. I really like it, but that longevity is just, I knock off points. I would say 7 out of 10. If it matures and it performs better in a couple of weeks or months, it might get bumped up to 8 out of 10. But right now, I can only judge it by how it's performing right now. And for now, Khadlaj Island Dreams is a 7 out of 10. So there you have it, folks. Those are my thoughts and my ratings on 2 new fragrances from Khadlaj. Let me know in the comments if you tried these, what you think. If you smelt the originals, how close they get in your opinion. And if you like this video, please hit that like and subscribe button. I am trying to get my channel to grow. I'm new to this game and every subscriber counts. And as always, stay tuned for more affordable fragrance content. Until next time, I'm out.